All right. Sorry that took me so long, guys. I got my one-man army tonight. This you can get with it. All right. Oh, man, this shit is way too late. It is. I got one more day of work. I was cleaning up the garage, and I found. I don't know if you guys can see that. That picture is 2013 when I checked into U.S. vets to go through their sobriety program. Uh, and then it's an old. That's actually my ID when I worked for Richardson. I was actually a project safety manager when I took that photo. Man. Why does Gen X age so well? It's all lighting. I know what I'm doing. No, I mean, well, let me think. Do I have a? I can't show you a photo because I'm on my phone, but I got a picture. If you go into my community post and you look back, I got a picture of me. Excuse me, in my dress blues. Um, I think I was probably my first year of service, and I look like I'm 14 years old. Like I don't look like I'm old enough to be out of high school. So for the longest time, I had a baby face, and it, it it used to really piss me off. Um, but now that I'm, you know, over 50, it's kind of like, yeah, genetics. Hey, who knew it would pay on the back end? But I'll tell you what, um, I'll have to dig up some photos of like when I got out of the service uh, for a good. I want to say, let me see, I got out 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from about 2003 to 2006 ish, maybe even a little bit. Yeah, maybe past that a little bit. Um, I was fully committed to drinking full time, and I ballooned up to about 250 pounds. Um, and I'll show you like there's a photo of me on the couch. I'm holding my son, and I'm asleep, and you wouldn't recognize me. Like I looked probably older in that picture than I do now, and that's what drinking will do to you. So, um, even if you don't have genetics, just kind of like pretty much just staying off of, you know, living excessively. It, yeah, I don't know. My doctor says I'm a cockroach. He says that I don't deserve to be as healthy as I am because of how I've defiled myself over the years. And I'm like, thanks, doc. We were joking, but the point he was trying to make was, um, he's like, it's fun to laugh about, but it's going to catch up with you. And I think about we had a Saint Bernard that passed away, baby. When she died, she was almost 14 years old, which is super old for a Saint Bernard. And the point is like she was just healthy, 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 and then right at 14 she just fell like off. It's that like one day she started acting sick, and like within 2 weeks she was dead. And I've seen a lot of that with people that live hard. like everything's fine until it isn't. Like look at Liver King. Yeah, I mean maybe that's a bad example because that guy does more drugs in a month than like most athletes I know do in a whole year. But like he just fell off a cliff. Like you see these guys, you know, they go hard and then they just fall off. Like the body just stops working. Um, so that's something that you know I'm not, you know, I think about. Like I'm 51 years old and um, I try to do everything, you know, correctly. I go through a doctor. I get my blood work done every 3 months, 1 to 3 months. I get, you know, I'm doing everything that I think I need to do to mitigate risk. But I'm also that age where it's like, you know, you hear about these bodybuilders like Cali Muscle. You know, obviously there's some genetics there, and you know, I don't want to use anybody anecdotally, but you hear about these guys that are like, you know, having these heart problems. Who's the uh, who's a bodybuilder that died a couple of years ago? The one I really liked. He's got the those rows named after him. He was in his 50s. Cali Muscle. I think I'm older than Cali Muscle. Um, it's funny. I can't think of a single name, but you know, we got all the bodybuilders that just are like they passed away young, and they're like, oh, he was 55 years old, and I'm like, man, that's sad. And I'm like, whoa, shit, I'm 51. Like I'm there. I'm at that age where, you know, like if I died tomorrow of a heart attack, people will be like, well, yeah, he's about that age. That can happen, you know. So you know, uh, that being said, so my whole thing is like tomorrow's promised to nobody, and I'm gonna live as best as I can, to include enjoying myself. Um, and I don't know. I don't wake up every day just thinking like it's people. They always say you got to die of something. You know, like the guy that still drinks and he's 60 years old, or the person that's quit every bad habit but they still smoke or something. You know, I don't know. Like think of an example. You hear people say like you got to die of something. Well, that's fine and dandy until you actually start dying from it. And it's amazing how that will to live kicks in. You know, like they're like, well, he's had a good life. No, grandma wants to live. You know, trust me. You know, would I box Jake Paul? Yeah, yeah, he'd probably whip my ass, but I'd get in the ring with him. Actually, I don't. I think I could help. I actually think I can hold my own. But I train Muay Thai and kickboxing. Order 66, Rich Piana. Oh man, I was watching some videos. What was it? The Del Rey Misfits. Uh, but yeah, you're talking about Rich Piana, exactly. Like he was. I actually met Rich a couple times. Cool dude. Um, he's another one where everything was fine until it wasn't. But anybody that followed Rich, you could tell like that guy was living on borrowed time. Um, there was just something not right about him. And I don't mean like as a person or personality. You could see like when he worked out, the weights he was actually pushing. Like if you look at a guy that's got like 21-inch arms, and he's moving weights that would be light for me. You know, I'm a 220-pound bodybuilder or power lifter, and you know you can say, well, bodybuilders and powerlifters don't work out the same. No, if you look at like Jay Cutler, like he has a gym here in town, and I see him on the incline, you know, doing half reps with 405 pounds, and you know he's not going all the way down, he's not going all the way up, but he's throwing 405 around like it's nothing. And that's legitimately strong. If a guy wanted to be a power lifter, he could be one of the best in history. Like, these guys are as strong as they look. And Rich, while I wouldn't say was weak by any stretch, he wasn't strong. Like you could tell, like, you know, whatever he was doing, it was keeping the engine running, but it wasn't keeping the oil clean. and he would do these extreme uh, PED protocols, and he was super transparent about it, and that was sort of the appeal. It was like, well, he's being honest. Um, but like anybody who does PEDs, somebody that's like, I'm like, I take the smallest efficacious amount of whatever. Um, like my normal, like when I'm training for competition, like it looks, I usually do, I'm like right around 200, like at my most, like the most I will do is like 250 milligrams a week of testosterone, 200, between 2 and 300 milligrams of DHB, a tiny little bit of nandrolone and test deca, and that mix is formulated for, they call it the old man mix. DHB is really good for older lifters because you get a lot of the same benefits as like something like trenbolone, but without the side effects. Um, DECA is for tendon health. You're coming back from a surgery, it's really good for that. Nandrolone, like there's like a doctor formulated this mix. There's a reason why all that's put together, and like that amount is like a teen. Like that's not even, that wouldn't even be enough to season the steak for somebody like Rich Piana. Or you, if you guys remember the Liver King when he came out, or it was when he was outed, that order of supplements that he was trying to procure off of Vigorous Steve, is that the guy's name? Vigorous Steve is the one that outed him. He had on that list more in 1 month than I would do in 2 years. And he's my age. Like I think I'm older than Liver King. So like the thought of like that massive amount of drugs that guy was doing, like not only was he a fake natty, it was the most I've ever seen anybody take ever. Like I don't even think like I would be able to survive that. Um, and like I don't have a death sentence. Like I'm not trying to die young. Like I want to live till a ripe old age. I might say something like I would rather die at the age of 75 and be fully ambulatory than live to be 80 and be in a wheelchair. But what'll happen? What happens if I am in that wheelchair? Am I still gonna have the will to live? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can romantically look at a scenario that we're not in, hypothetically, and say, well, I'd rather have quality years, but I don't know. When your time is up and you're going to meet your maker, you'd be surprised that will to live kicks in. uh, yeah, I do. That's why I haven't read any of the comments yet, Smart Gamer. It's late though, so usually this time of night it's retards. Um, Marine will understand that questions Einstein's Roadrunner. Did you go to the island? Yes, Paris Island. Platoon 1189, Charlie Company. Awesome Hannah's in the house. What's up? We got Chris Jacobs. See, Almighty Epic Gamer. You get a fat paycheck either way. And I don't know anybody else. Hello from Tel Aviv. 1970. Hell yeah. I haven't been to Tel Aviv since 1998. So it's been a while. Someone's full of poop. Awesome. Awesome, you look familiar, Roadrunner. Do you think you could run my fade? I think I can run your fade. Are you talking about like cutting your hair? I don't know Korean, but what's up? We got Oscar Del La Yenta. I should come back. I didn't go anywhere. I'm scared, but I won't hesitate. Well, I guess thank you. Apparently he wants to see my butthole. I don't know why you're trolling dick on YouTube, but I mean, there's better places, but hey, whatever, each their own. T-Gig. Pretty much every single shirt I own, cut the sleeves off. Dress shirt. Yep. uh, Sir, compound lift is high risky for injury. Well, I mean, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow driving to work. I mean, everything's a risk. I mean, it's all about the. I don't know. There's such a. Like, people ask me, like, oh, isn't that risky? Yeah. But, like, I always ask, well, what is your issue with it? You know, like, well, when you see somebody doing something that's risky, um, why is that a problem for you? Like, what's the thought that comes in your head? Um, like I've been powerlifting for competitively for since well about 11 years now, and I've had three major injuries, and I've recovered from three major injuries, and it's a pretty risky sport. You can do it safely. You don't have to get injured, but it's one of those things where um, one false move, if you're not paying attention or you have a bad day, yeah, you could absolutely injure yourself. But you could say that just about anything. I mean, like anything you're passionate about. I mean, I was watching guys do table gaming, and you think there's no risk of injury there, but one of the guys had a tantrum and he got in a fist fight. Keep doing it while you can, even if it's hard as hell. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I have concerns about getting injured again, and I'm going to compete in February. And the thought I had is like, is the risk of injury getting too great, and should I hang it up? And I'm on the fence about it sometimes, honestly. But I'm going to give it one more shot. And that old saying, "Tomorrow's promised to nobody." It's you got to do what's right for you. You know what I mean? Only you can really decide if it's worth it or not. That being said, what we try to do is we try to make so there's nothing that's risk free, but we try to mitigate that risk as much as possible, and that's part of what we do is we train so that we can eliminate that risk if we can. You can never really eliminate it 100%. The old Viking saying, your days are numbered, and you can go and hide in a hole if you want to, but it's not going to buy you any more time. I'm at the VA. I'm looking at all these guys, and they're all like crippled, and you wonder like, oh, was that guy in a war? How'd that happen? And this one guy, I asked him. He's in a little mobility scooter, and he's all messed up. And I asked him how the injury happened, and he was literally at a bus stop, and a freaking car came on the sidewalk and took the whole bench out and almost killed 3 or 4 people. So here's a man who's never trained a day in his life, not bothering anybody, doesn't even drive. He's like, I don't like driving, it's too risky. I'm like, you weren't. So like, you can live your life and not take any chances and still get all fucked up. So, yeah. Most people can lift 800 deadlift. Most people can lift 800 deadlift. It's not been my observation. If you drop a weight on your foot, you are gone. Yeah, I've dropped a weight on my foot. So, as a matter of fact, I was in high school. It was one of my first days in the weight room, and I picked up a 45-pound plate and dropped it right on my foot. Bam! And everybody in the room looked at me, and I'm just standing there like nothing happened. And then they all turn around, and I'm holding my breath, and kind of work my way to the door, and I open it and I close it. My foot was purple. I think I didn't break any of the metatarsals, but um, yeah. So don't drop weights on your feet. Uh, what smart gamer are you? Are you saying that genetically speaking, most people are capable of an 800-pound deadlift? Um, Genetically. Uh, I don't know. Because, like, that would, I wonder how many people, you know what? Let's ask. Let's do an AI search. How many people in history, any people in history have recorded over 800 lbs deadlift? Let's crunch some numbers. While an exact comprehensive number is difficult to determine due to various lifting federations and yeah. 625 powerlifters or people have recorded over 800 pounds, and that's raw and equipped. The number who have done it in tested competition is 121. So, then we'll say how many people in history over 50. Control Z. Oh god, I hate it when it fucking. How many people over the age of 50 have recorded over 800 lbs deadlift? Well, the exact number of people over the age of 50 who have officially deadlifted over 800 pounds is not explicitly listed. Strongman Scott. Oh, he did. Oh, he had a 425 kilogram, 937 pull over the age of 50. That's crazy. So it is saying that answer the fucking questions. This is one thing I hate about AI is it's just like fucking, I don't need context. Just answer the question. Less than 300 people. No, that's not even right. Achieving the it seems like the first person to do it was, I didn't ask that. Odd Hagen. All ages is 500. Yeah, I know that. I said over 50, stupid. I can look it up right now in open powerlifting. What the fuck is the point of AI if it can't answer that for me? How many people over 50 have deadlifted over 800 pounds? I'm not impressed with this AI. That's a very specific, easily researchable question. I didn't say masters too. I said over the age of 50, stupid. I'm getting mad at AI. It's giving me all this context I didn't ask for. I don't need to know rarity standards. I don't need to know who the first person to do it was. I asked how many. I didn't ask what an elite level lifter is. Give me a fucking number. It can't answer. It can't answer the question. It answered the first one, and it can't answer the second. Well, I can. It's less than 100 people in history. Um, in my weight class, 220, it's less than 15. And I know this because I'm ranked for my weight class. I think I'm all time. I'm in the top 20, and I posted a 670 deadlift. Anyway, AI pissed me off. That makes me angry. Why can't you answer the question? Rick, go fuck yourself. See, Rick's one of these guys that's trying to come off like he's smart, and it just makes you look stupid. How much do you use AI in your workflows? Daily. I love it. I let it do all the work for me. You see, they're just so focused on AI videos, you can't fix the damn hallucinations. No, that pisses me off, man. I use AI almost daily. I love it, man. It's great especially if you know what you're putting into it. Um, if you can ask it very specific questions, especially with statistics, it's great for looking up like OSHA standards and things of that nature and cross-referencing like federal versus state. But when I ask a very specific question, like that's easily researchable, and I could take 10 minutes and go look it up right now on Powerlifting Watch and do the math myself, and AI is giving me a fucking history lesson on like lifters over the age of 50, and I asked it a very specific question. That makes me angry. I think I need my reading glasses. Yeah, no, AI is great. So, I've been using ChatGPT as basically my office assistant. When I took this job that I just started, they threw me in there and said, basically, you need to develop a safety program for this place, and they don't have anything in place. You're our guy. Can you do it? Yes or no? Yes. And where it would normally take me, 2 or 3 hours a night extra typing up documents, and then I gotta, proofread them and make sure that the wording's appropriate, and then when you're writing stuff that's safety related, it has to be written in a language that's uh, almost like a court document. Like if it had to, you want to be able to use it in a court of law. Like if you want to defend yourself against like fines from the state, that kind of thing. So not only do I have to word it that like a lawyer, where I can just ask ChatGPT to like write me whatever. I can give it a bunch of pictures, tell it what I'm looking at, and it'll write the report for me. And then from there, if you know what you're looking at, you can proofread it and say, oh, that works perfectly. It's been working great for me. It's been saving me tons of time. Ben Bob's on Fondue says, what's the terrorist flag about? What's a terrorist flag? Compliance heavy, yes. Prakish Deep Jenkins. Yes, yeah, 100%. That being said, if you don't garbage in, garbage out. Like if you don't know what you're asking AI to do, and you don't know, and you can't disseminate if it's like accurate or not, it could probably get you in a lot of trouble, I would imagine. If you've had no construction managed supervision or safety experience, and I give you a list, and I say, hey, go into ChatGPT and tell it to print this out for me, and then if you didn't know what you were reading, like stereo instructions, and then you just decided to like push that through to management and like send it down the chain, that could get you in a lot of trouble. So you still kind of like you need to be able to check your work, and you don't want to have well, it's garbage in, garbage out. Not meeting any women saves you tons of time too. Well, I'm married, so um, I just gotta say I've been believed in manifest destiny before Trump made it cool. Thoughts on ice? um, well, maybe you can give me a little more context. Like, are you asking me like what my opinion is on? Um, I would say like as a libertarian, somebody that's aligned on the anarchy side of things. I'm generally against unconstitutional alphabet departments like that are run by people that are not elected into office. But as far as like what they're being federally mandated to do, I'm all for it. Like yeah, I mean, if you're going to use a government agency to get rid of people that are illegally in the country, I mean, that's actually a good use of taxpayer money for a change. Like I'm not against. What I don't like is the ATF coming to my house potentially, and asking anything about what I own. Ever since I learned the history of this country in middle school, learning the Monroe Doctrine, Manifest Destiny, this is what I knew. Smart gamer, I kind of figured that you would eventually come to your own conclusions, and I really think it started with the day that I told you that I wasn't going to have another discussion with you about anything that you haven't watched the full video on. Remember the Charlie Kirk thing, and I swear to God, that was the moment in time when I saw a light bulb come on, and I've been very proud of you because you were ideologically possessed by what I would call not postmodernism, but just like liberalism, and that's it just shows like that's what kids are learning in school. I watched it with my own kids, and I never push either of my kids in any direction when it comes to politics. I'm not aligned to anyone. I'm not affiliated with a party. What I do is I try to teach them to think for themselves and come to their own conclusions. All I will do is simply correct things that I believe to be untrue. Like when you were talking about that Charlie Kirk clip that was taken out of context about the black airline pilot, and I didn't tell you it was true or false. All I did was tell you to watch the whole video and come to your own conclusion. That was the discussion we had. But that's the same thing I do with everybody. I'm never going to tell anyone they're right or wrong. I'll just tell you what my opinion is. So you don't like the ATF taking guns, but you're okay with ICE taking people. Yes, I am absolutely 100% okay with our country getting rid of people that are here illegally. Yep. We should have never let them in the country to begin with. And yes, I am 100% against the ATF in principle, pretty much. End sentence. I'm against the ATF. Full stop. We can't allow to be overrun by non-taxpayers. Yeah, no, I mean, like, so the whole argument's stupid. Like, the entire premise of the conversation is disingenuous. And, like, all of the cathartic, frothy emotional appeals and all the bullshit that you see on TV, the entire conversation comes from a lie to begin with. And from there, you could just make full stop. Illegal alien. End of sentence. I have family members that got married and they couldn't get their wives over here legally. And you're going to tell me that somebody that crosses the border is getting... When I was out of work, I couldn't get fucking benefits, and I've paid over $1 million into taxes in the last, we'll say, since 2013. I've paid over $1 million into taxes myself, and I couldn't get fucking assistance from the government But you're telling me that these fuckers are getting full Social Security benefits. My wife, who was fucking injured and can't go back to work, got denied 3 times. She literally got hit by a fucking car. And she's had hip surgery. She's had knee surgery. You guys know, Christina's been in the fucking hospital. She's had surgeries. She couldn't get assistance. But you're gonna allow these? No, yeah, fuck you, and fuck the fucking horse you rode in on or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like the whole conversation's disingenuous. And if you're here illegally, they're like, oh, these people have rights. No, they don't. They're not American citizens. Period. End of argument. You know, make it right from that starting point. The starting point is you're here illegally. How do you reconcile that? And we've all these arguments that are downstream of that about how it's abuses of power and all that starts from a faulty premise to begin with. And like I don't even like watching this shit, but I couldn't help but listen to Tim Walz speak online, and there's no fucking way this man believes any of the shit that comes out of his mouth. It just blows me away that either we're willfully ignorant or fucking stupid. It's one or the other. Do I know what the process of becoming a citizen is? Intimately. I agree with Charlie economically and in some things, but his words against trans people and other things. What are my words against trans people? I would say I'm fiscally conservative, socially liberal. Shepherd of GA has my love 2022, 15K for those people. Yeah, everything you're saying is wrong. Well, you have to get specific. Quick trip and fall, like what's wrong? What did I say that was incorrect? Do we fight back? Yeah, so the way we fight back is we speak truth. When somebody says something that's wrong, you don't go with it. That's like the number one power you have is no longer be quiet about things you disagree with. And don't care about people that, like they're gonna say mean things to you. It's like, who gives a shit? Like don't take the opinion of somebody that doesn't have your best interest in mind. You know what I mean? Like these people don't care about you. They wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire. So if they leverage, they just, it's ad hominem attacks. So if you notice, like, I don't say anything personal about anybody. If you come at me, I'll get back at you. But like my argument is never about the person I'm arguing with. I don't say anything about them derogatory. I'll never, like, I don't like just start like disparaging people that I disagree with. But almost immediately, that's the first thing they go to, is they make it personal. They'll personally attack you. They won't attack the argument. They won't attack the question. Like, they'll say things like, everything you said is wrong. Well, what are we talking about? What's everything? Their arguments never go past surface level because they don't have an argument. Like, 2 + 2 will always be 4, and it'll always be wrong if it's not. So if they're wrong, they don't have an argument. Like, you know what I mean? There's no way to make a faulty premise right. So the only thing they can do is attack you personally. That's the only thing they have. They'll say things like, you're full of shit. Okay, what am I full of shit about? Answer that question specifically. Or they'll redirect it. You don't have your own best interest in mind. They say shit like that, stuff that doesn't make sense. And it's like it's designed to trip you up and derail you. Like, don't fall for it. Like, it's just words. Like as soon as you, like, so not to use you as an example, but I'm going to, so quick trip and fall. Like, when you understand that, like, there's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna, like, make me care, right? Like, you just don't know me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. You can say whatever you want about me, and I might laugh if it's funny. But you've also not you haven't said or done anything to move the needle in your direction as an argument. You've said words. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've asked you specific questions and you haven't answered them. So it's like, okay. Like, you don't matter. You're irrelevant. No offense or anything. I don't support anything trans. I don't know what we're talking about. Yes, he does, Jen. I also did my homework on Kamala. Oh, I can't believe you thought for a second, like, well, Kamala's a good example. Like, why don't you support Kamala? It's because she's a woman. What? Like, that's retarded. No, she's a fucking retard, and she doesn't stand for anything. She's a populist. And, like, when she was in California, she was of Indian heritage, and now she's running for president. She's the first black woman, and she's the first whatever she needs to be. And if you don't vote for her, it's because you're a misogynist. And it's like, she kept saying things like, well, when I'm in power, I'm going to give you free milk and cookies. You are in power, dumbass. You're the fucking vice president. And the president's a sock puppet. Like, it's Weekend at Bernie's. What do you mean when you get in office? You are in office. Like, but it was mostly like principle. Like when she was attorney general for California, and just go look up like all the shit she was like keeping people in jail when they should have been released because they're cheap labor. Laughing about it, making jokes. She's on camera saying some pretty horrific shit. And this is like stuff you could just go look up. And I could never get anybody who would disagree with me to actually look at any of the research. But it was like, you're wrong. I'm like, okay. So, and that's kind of the point. It's like, why argue with that person? Why don't sow pearls before swine? And when Jesus said that, what he meant was like, don't waste your energy on people who are not interested in having discourse with you. Like, they're just trying to argue, and it's pointless. Like, it's a waste of energy. Like, I don't make policy. Even if you disagree with me, I don't fucking make laws. So what are we even arguing about? It's like, you could say you don't like my gun rights, but you're not in charge of anything, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, words don't hurt the strong. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dennis. I agree with your stance on ICE. Just feel like it's unnecessarily violent at times. But what's unnecessarily violent? See, that's the thing is, like, Patty, I always ask people for specifics because I hear a lot about violence, but I'm not seeing it. Where, they say these videos like they're beating people up after they handcuff them. Where's the video? Like, where's all the evidence of this supposed ICE violence? I see violence enacted to ICE. They've been attacked by... Oh, and incidentally, you're not a protester anymore if you're damaging property and hurting people. That's called rioting. That's illegal. But, I mean, when you're, attacking a federal building and they're defending the property they're on, which they're allowed to legally do, I'm failing to see where the violence is. If anything, what I've seen on video, and I'm not even saying I support ICE, I'm just telling you what I've seen. I've seen people that are being above and beyond patient. Because I could tell you, like, if I was still in uniform and any of them fat, blue-haired, black belt Karens came at me like that, it'd be a different fucking story. I still eat her butt, though. Will Trump take Greenland? I don't know, that whole thing. When it comes to the Greenland stuff, I'm just along for the ride. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's some behind the scenes deals that are going down, and it, like, strategically, we've always had Greenland at our disposal, and we will always have Greenland at our disposal. And anything else outside of that is just rhetoric. You know what I mean? If you don't like guns, you should get out of America. Yeah. But more to that, it's like, it's okay if you don't. Like, because your opinion doesn't make policy. Like, somebody asked me, they said, you don't need an AR rifle for hunting. I'm like, who said anything about hunting? Like, well, what do you have an AR rifle for? I'm like, because I fucking want one? Like, I don't need to explain myself to you. Like, I don't need to justify my purchases to you. I don't need a reason. The reason is because I can fucking have one. I have a hunting rifle, but that's not even. And that's the other thing is like, the Second Amendment's not about hunting. It has nothing to do with hunting. People argue faulty premises from an incorrect position to begin with, and you're arguing over. It's stupid at that point. Correct the premise, the starting point. Like my premise, my starting point for the whole ICE argument is illegal aliens should be removed. Okay, from there we can argue everything else. I could talk about my stance on what I philosophically believe about the alphabet agencies and anything deemed that's not constitutional. Fundamentally, I don't think should exist in a perfect world, you know. But see, the other thing, like the anarchists, like so you got communists who think the utopia, and that's retarded. Well, anarchists do it too. Libertarians, their version of the utopia is like this Ayn Rand, Wild West where everybody's free trade and we all get along, and it's a little house on the prairie, and it's real life is more like strong, the survival of the fittest. So it's like unrealistic to think in a country with 300 million people as diverse as we are, that if we remove the government, like it would be anything less than that. It's awesome to have and learn and use for fun, and those who think so. What's that, Brent? I think it's irrelevant if Trump takes Greenland or not, because really we have access to it for what we need, and we always will have access to it for what we need. You know what I mean? Like, who actually officially owns Greenland is kind of irrelevant. Let's see, you're not saying anything, you're just letting shit dribble out of your mouth. So I'm going to read what Quick Trip and Fall said. Are you fucking joking? You're not saying anything. So, like, this is what I was talking about. It's your comment doesn't say anything specific about anything I've said. Like, if you disagree with something I've said, like, specifically, what are you talking about? What is it you disagree with? And then from there, we can actually have a discussion. But you're just talking shit. So, it's like, it's when I say you're irrelevant, I mean that, like, definitively, you're irrelevant because your comments aren't about anything and are only there to try to get a rise out of me, but you're not smart enough to do that. Like, you don't have that mic drop. You're just a dumbass with a keyboard. So, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean, you are not smart enough to offend me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I would like to see if you could, like, put a real singer out there. Like, dude, I mean, like, I give you guys plenty of ammo. Look at the fucking way I'm dressed. I'm wearing tights, for Christ's sake. I'm a 51-year-old man. Like, you guys could, like, pick me apart if you wanted to. But, you're just not good at trolling. You're on YouTube trolling. You're not even good at it. Like, what are you doing with your life, bro? I would be reevaluating things. I imagine it probably sucks to be you. And I feel for you. You know, you got my sympathies, brother. We're talking about Quick Trip and Fall, incidentally. Poor kid. Arguing politics is just a waste of time and goes nowhere most of the time. Yes, Jake, I agree, but it can be fun. And sometimes it's interesting. And that's a good enough reason. If you're interested in the conversation and you're enjoying it, bam. But yeah, just to argue and like have people just like start calling you names because they disagree with you, it's like, all right, like, whatever. like the idea that I need some random person on YouTube to like me, I don't even know you. like, oh my God, babe, some random guy online who said mean things to me. Well, what are you gonna do about that? Nothing. I won't even remember after I get offline. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I here? What are we doing? God damn it! He's to try to tell your dumb ass nicely. Yeah. I imagine like he's so quick trip and fall seems like the kind of guy that's gonna get triggered and keep trying to like say meaner and meaner things, but he doesn't understand that like we've already called him out on like not having an original statement to fucking build any of the comments off of. He's like talking literally about nothing. He's talking himself in circles, and we're all just like, oh, look at him go. He's trying so hard. I just see him on the toilet. He's having a fucking aneurysm right now. I get you. God, I love him. God, YouTube's awesome. I get so much enjoyment from watching people like lose their shit. I know sometimes I'll be like, I'm gonna report you. I'm like, okay. Let me know how that works out for you. I'll always be a classic liberal, but I always have an open mind to listen to anyone. Yeah, so liberal, and liberal's been hijacked, the meaning of it. Um, Politics is fun sometimes. It does help you think about other point of view. Yeah, and I like, I'm not gonna say I like people that disagree with me, but I don't need people to agree with me to be cool with you. I like having discussion with other points of view. I just don't like it when it usually becomes malicious or once emotions get involved. And it's not to say like I'm a human being. Like sometimes things do get under my skin, and you guys can tell. I was like, oh, he's getting heated up about that one. But generally speaking, it's like, like why are we getting upset about this? Can you play drum steward unemployment for years? I didn't know how this message was. Drummer? What? What are we talking? Okay, Jeremy Wilhelm. Can you play drum steward unemployment for years? I didn't know how this message was a drummer. Are you having a stroke? Do we need to do a wellness check on you, brother? Yeah, shit like that will make you believe in a great replacement theory. Nick, 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 Nick Hickoly says hi. What's up? Milan, did you have thoughts on Israel? I would need something a little more specific. Hi, Juan. Defs. Help, yes. Defs? What's defs? Bro is a genius, outstanding take. I wouldn't go that far, but thank you, Daniel. I'm just back scrolling the comments here to see what I missed. Anon says for tyrants. I want Canada, Greenland, and Baja California. Man, if I was Canadian, I would want to be an American state. But I'm not a Canadian, and maybe they disagree with me. Just released. Creator just released a new album. I'm gonna look that up. Actually, Creator with a K. Alt D. Oh, people lie. That's our old. Let's see, cancel. So was it 2018? Did they remaster People That Lie? This isn't going to be a band a lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, I knew that, I went to that concert. No, you didn't. But I can't remember this album. I'll have to listen to it later. Alright, let's see here. I'm reading a deleted comment trying to figure out what they're asking me. Something about a microwave. White mother with her child on Google. Like apprentice. Don't make me do a search for that. I will. Oh shit! Let's see. I think I'm working up to 325 for 5 reps. I think is the target. Nothing but mammals, so let's do it like the Discovery Channel. I want to use the straight bar or the football bar. All true love, one day she withered on the vine. You don't want to sit here. Juan Gonzalez. Yeah, good night, Juan. Sorry not talkative tonight, just focusing on my game. It's all good. Online search white mother with her child on Google. Make me believe in what? White mother. Shumar. These challenges communities. What am I supposed to be mad at here? Is this like a white women that use adopted children of ethnicity to as props? It looks like. I don't know. I was adopted. I don't know what you're trying to get me on. What topic you're trying to get me on. Charles, do you like Mario Kart? Yeah, we got Mario Kart. What is it? 8? Yeah, we play Mario Kart. I haven't been gaming as much as I used to. I was playing Destiny 2 a lot, and then Bungie really pissed me off with Halo Infinite. I was really, really mad. That was like the last straw. Like, that's the last time I ever pre-order anything, you fucking scumbags. Oh, and it was God damn it. I'm trying to think what game I ordered, and it was um, fuck. Yeah, I'm totally spacing it, but I pre-ordered a game and it just like was fucking terrible. And I just AAA gaming sucks. I can't stand it. Uh, was it Dragon Age? Just like dude, I've been playing a lot of older stuff. Like I've been playing like Near Automata. I did like Warhammer Space Marine 2, epic. Um, they're pushing an agenda. I think the worst thing, the number one enemy in this country is middle class white liberal women. The Karen apocalypse. Like my sister, Colleen, she's married to an officer. She was in the Navy, never had to struggle a day in her life. Has no idea like what poverty is, and she said I'm racist because I think you should have an ID, voter ID, and I asked her like, well, why is that racist? And she literally says to me, well, because, and she's sure to say people of color, like that, it's, just the way she says it sounds racist. They don't have access to the same kind of services that we do. I'm like, well, first of all, who's we? I've been homeless before, so like I was at the place where you get food stamps right next to the people of color, and you kind of need an ID to get those, by the way. And if you don't have one, they'll help you. And I'd like, are you suggesting that black people can't get fucking driver's licenses because they don't know how to use the DMV? Is that what you're saying? No, that's not what I mean. Well, what do you mean, Colleen? What do you mean? Because you sound pretty fucking racist. And it's like they call us racist, they call us bigots, but everything they think about comes from that lens to begin with. So she got mad at me because I called my best, like one of the guys I work with, a Mexican. She's like, not every Latino's from Mexico. And I'm like, he's literally a Mexican citizen here on a visa. Yeah, fucking racist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you hear yourself? So, I was actually on a construction site and I was laughing about that. That was like one of the last comments. And I was on the man lift and I go, hey, I'm going to ask you all something stupid. And they go, what's that? It's like, do any of you guys have a problem getting identification so you can vote? And they all just looked at me like, are you stupid? Like, and on a construction site, I'm the minority. And like, so how'd you get that job? It's because you're white. Yeah, I was just walking down the street and someone fucking yelled out a window, hey, white boy, you know anything about construction? I'm like, no. I'm like, well, get in here. You're white. You'll do fine. Like, not that I was in the trades for 30 years. Fucking white Karens. That's the fucking problem with this country is white Karens. If we can get rid of all the white Karens, everything would straighten out. It's not even like love everyone away. But I consider my mom to be a white Karen. I think that she adopted us because we're props and made her look good. Let's see. Only they would vote to import Somali who's been inbred. Yeah, don't get me started on the that whole Somalian thing. It is funny to watch Tim Walz just like he's fucking trying so hard. Like, bro, you're caught. You're going to jail, motherfucker. Just let it go. He's gonna go down with that shit, boy. Please tell me a Karen story. Oh man, yeah, I just told my sister. Got to show your ID to get a job, right? Yeah, so you know, Frank. Socioeconomic factors. Well, I mean, we could talk about like, if you want to look at like the debate. You know, the debate about like the Nation of Islam versus Christianity from a socioeconomic standpoint. If you take away religion and belief and all that, just look at like, quality of living. And you look at the trending national IQ level of the Middle East, like countries like Iran, and because they they encourage, they don't just allow, they encourage the marrying of first cousins, which we call inbreeding. It's funny, everyone thinks that like I wouldn't even call myself a Trump supporter, but I'm lumped in there because I did vote for him. I'm an independent. I don't support anybody. I'm not against anybody. If you're a retard, if you do good things, I'm for you. If you do dumb things, I'm against you. But I voted for Trump. I would call myself a supporter. But like when I say that, my sister sees like these roving death patrols of rednecks that are all fucking sitting in the back of a, you know, pickup truck, and we all got shotguns going, "Ee, where you going, city boy?" You know, like, you got a pretty mouth. You know, like, we're roping them colored folks up, you know, like, because she has a college education. And I'm like, bitch, first of all, my IQ is way higher than yours. And I could have got your fucking degree at a library cheaper. I need a good library card in a fucking couple of hours to get the degree you have. So, like, the whole schooling thing, like, she knew to so my sister knows to shut up around me because her argument goes right out the window as soon as she's, like, don't you dare call me uneducated. But she's like that. She thinks that if you don't have a college degree, you can't possibly know. Like, I speak for the plight of the dispossessed. Like, I've actually been fucking homeless. My own fault. We'll call it research and development. But I've been there. I've lived low. We grew up middle class, and we weren't rich. We weren't poor. My dad is a retired police officer. He retired as a police chief. So we grew up on a cop salary. Mom was the stay at home, diehard Catholic. So we didn't live a life of like we weren't poor, we weren't rich. We're a pretty standard suburban upbringing, and then through choices I made, I both went and saw the world a couple times over, and I've lived very high and I've lived very low. Right now, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my entire life, and last year I was unemployed for 4 months. So it's like we've been both, we've been up and down. And what I've learned along the way is that I have way, way, way more in common with the guy that's trying to get food stamps right now than I do some rich fucking suburbanite that's married to an admiral, and she doesn't know the other side. She's never had a fucking day of struggle in her life. My parents, she was the child that got everything. My mom and dad said, "You're a man. You don't ask us for help. You need to figure it out." And that's fine. They set that boundary. I never asked them for anything, and they wouldn't give it to me even if I begged them for it. As a matter of fact, I actually had one time in my life where I really needed their help, and they wouldn't help me. It'd just be like that. And where she got everything. When Grandpa died, I wanted his Buick, and my dad wouldn't give it to me, but he gave it to her. Just gave it to her. I'm like, yeah, all right, but hey, she's Daddy's little girl, so I'm not even hating on her. I'm just saying she shouldn't talk about shit she doesn't have any fucking experience or context about. I'm not religious. I'd take a Christian over a Muslim. I mean it. I don't like Muslim. It's just weird. So I've talked about this before, Frank. Like, this is personal opinion. I study theology. Everybody knows that. Well, people that have followed my channel for a while know that one of the things, when I was in school, I studied was theology. We studied religions of the world, sociology, mythology. So we looked at like. There was part of the study that focused on like archetypes, like Gilgamesh. For an example, like there's a lot of people that believe that Jesus Christ is borrowed largely from Sumerian texts. The parallels between Gilgamesh and Jesus. Like, that's a stretch to me, but I mean, that's an example. And the point, what we were studying was not necessarily like whether it's true or false, but why the archetypes persist over time and why we're still gravitating to them, what draws us to, like, the hero's journey, Luke Skywalker, that kind of thing. But in all my studies, I have the Quran, I have the Book of Mormon, I've got books on Shintoism, Buddhism, I've got Journey to the West, I've got Chinese religious texts, I've got we studied 3 different versions of the Bible. Over time, I started seeing that, like, the Bible was speaking to me from a historical accuracy standpoint. I thought some things it was really bizarre how accurate they were. But the one thing I didn't read in any of the texts on any religion, except for Muslim, the Quran, was an explicit call to violence for people that you can't convert to your religion. And it was just like, that was the one point. The one thing I noticed was how if you can't be converted or you won't convert, they have like almost a duty to kill you, or it's like you're not a person. You either convert or you're not considered you're below a person. And every time I would bring up that little portion of the book and try to have a discussion with a Muslim about it, they were either like not that into the religion. So, like Christians, like there's millions of Christians that go to church every weekend but don't read the Bible. Couldn't tell you. They couldn't quote a Bible scripture verse to save their life. My mom's one of them. She goes to church 5-6 days a week. And I'm convinced she's never fucking read the Bible one day in her life with some of the shit that woman says. So there's a lot of that. There's people that might have been Muslim their entire life and they've never actually read the Quran. But every time I try to have a discussion about that part, they're like, oh, well, it's interesting to hear a Muslim call us, the white Americans, colonialists, when like everything that they talk about our past and history is shit they're still actively doing to this day. Like slavery, like which isn't better for billionaires who was okay with $30 minimum wage. Some might call that rich enough. Rich though. Brent, let me see here. I missed some comments. I'm missing some comments here. But I need to actually do a set here because I have to work in the morning, so I actually do need to work out. It's 11:22. You can't let me. I can't talk all night. I do need to get my training in. Me, baby, ain't nothing but oh, I finally got as part of my collection, my religious collection. I got some writings from L. Ron Hubbard. I can't believe anybody. I mean, the whole thing's got to be a scam. Scientology, like nobody can really believe in that shit. You're talking about the Islamic dilemma, how if the Quran is true, then the Bible is true. But if the Bible is true, the Bible is false. Expound upon that, little Joe. I think I understand what you're saying, but yeah, if I had a Palestinian who was a great guy but told me when he lived in Jerusalem that they would charge the Christians a tax, that sounds right. Yeah, tax, beheading. I heard you speak about the theology. She was like, at least she doesn't bend her. Who's going to bed? If the Quran is true, then the Bible is true. But if the Bible is true, the Bible is false. I'm not sure if I'm following that line of logic. The Quran, if the Bible is true, then the Quran is false. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And dude, I think most Christians don't even know what fucking religion they follow. Like, I'm not religious at all. I grew up Catholic. I'm fucking done with that nonsense. But I, I've just been reading the New Testament, and I'm 100. Like, you get all these Christians that they quoting Leviticus and shit like that. Like, which is just like the old Jewish law. Like, what the, are you fucking stupid? Uh, I actually do like talking about this stuff, but um, I'm getting to that age where my brain forgets things, and I want to be careful not to misspeak because I don't have a Bible to reference. I grew up Catholic. I quoted the Bible to people, and no one seems to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, dude, like in my opinion, half of the Catholic religion is not biblical. I, I, I personally think that the Roman Catholic Church is satanic, and I mean that quite literally. And not because of I was an altar boy. I didn't get fondled by a priest. And it pissed me off because all the other kids did. Like, was I not good enough for you? You know? Actually, we used to. My dad let me get a job as a janitor at the grade school. We lived next door to the church, St. Mary's Church, Buffalo Grove. Look it up. It's a beautiful, like, cathedral. And our house is literally next door to it. Church Road, our house. So I walked to school. I went to grade school there. And then I didn't go to high school there. They don't have a high school. But um, when I turned 13, after school job working as a janitor, and we used to go into the rectory. You got I guess you could say like you got your altar, right? And then you got the room that's got all the goodies in it, where the touchy goes. They have like that's where they keep the crackers and the wine. So you get these like drawers full of the wafers. You hand them out. They look like rice cakes almost. I don't know how to describe it. And then you got the wine. And it's like fucking cooking sherry, but boys being boys, we'd go in there and we'd just fucking get drunk on that shit. We fucking just we thought we were slick. We're all drinking fucking. Oh man, the tabernacle, yeah. Right. Well, we had Father Duffy. Father Duffy was from Ireland, and he reminded me of if any of you guys grew up in Illinois or Chicago. Remember Harry Carey, the announcer for the Chicago Cubs? This is Harry Carey in his big cocoa glasses. That's what Father Duffy looked like, and he had a stroke, so he had one arm. So he drove this big fucking Cadillac, and it had the suicide knob on it. And I just watched this poor bastard can't even fucking walk, and he got behind the wheel of this land yacht. And I'm like, man, that motherfucker's running kids over for sure. You from Illinois? Yeah, yeah. You can't hear the accent anymore, huh? Did you see what the fake lift? Oh, you know what? I didn't even look, dude. I totally forgot about it. Yeah, he was. I don't know. I just honestly don't care. Like, it's not interesting to me. uh, what part of Illinois? Uh, Buffalo Grove, Arlington Heights. Like, yeah, like literally was like St. Mary's Church. I literally next door to it. And my parents now, like we moved out of the city, and they bought property up in Huntley. But I no longer talk to my mom and dad for reasons, which is actually a shame. It's not because I don't want to. They got when we took my sister in, there was some disagreements, and I had to. My mom got into it with my wife, and like I was just not gonna put up with it. Like I'm not. I'm sorry, that's my wife, mom. Like I'm taking her side. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. Like that's something I'd rather just like. Let's just say mom's a fucking. She's a black belt Karen. Enough said. Thoughts on Joseph Smith? Um, I think Mormons are a cult, but they're also very financially successful. I think what are they, the third largest religion? Is that check me on that, chat. I could be wrong, but they're a very successful cult, and you got to be careful with saying that around here because I think that's one of the reasons why I got driven out of Southwest Steel because I think I said that as a joke, and my boss didn't. He was Mormon. I didn't know, and they don't. They will never like tell you they're offended by anything, because for the longest time I was like, "What is this motherfucker's problem with me? I've never had an unkind conversation with this dude, and he's just after me behind my back." And somebody suggested, like, "Yeah, I think you were joking around one day, and you said something about Mormons," and I was like, "Well, did I say anything that rude?" I think I probably just joked around and said that I thought they were a cult, and I stand by that. They, like the whole fucking like, I looked at a hat with tablets like the I have a copy of the Book of Mormon. I have it, and it reads like bad written science fiction. It reads like somebody that is trying to sound like they're translating scripture from Aramaic or Greek, like with thous and thou and wilt and thy, thine and thee and it's like you're translating from American English, stupid. And so I don't know. I think it's insulting how bad the Book of Mormon is written to sound biblical. Does that make sense? Like the King James version was translated from Greek and Aramaic and all that, and that was the cadence and diction of the King's English at that time when it was translated. Like Joseph Smith, like he didn't talk like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's written to try to sound. That's the way I feel when I read it. I'm like, this is horrible. Like, who wrote this shit? Like, people who listen to Mormon story take it seriously are mentally ill. My man. I made the Catholic priest joke and I was around a devout Catholic. They didn't tell me to put that against me forever. Yeah, my mom said something like that it's unfortunate that my kids are going to hell because they haven't been baptized. And I just had it with her. Like, this is a woman who's never said anything nice to me my entire life. When I finally bought a house, and I was letting my dad, I was like, Dad, dude, I got locked in at 3% interest. And, Mom, what she says to me? She goes, well, now you need to be careful because you and Christina aren't legally married and she could take you for all you're worth. And I was like, Wow, mom, that's not like congratulations. Like, thanks. Good looking out, mom. Like, I'll let her. I'll let her know you. And, of course, Christina's like, "Wow, does your mom hate me?" I was like, "No, you're actually her favorite one." Imagine that. You need to rage bait, show minimal intellectual honesty with people like her and them. Yeah, so this is what I did to rage bait my mom. After I fucking just had it with her, I asked her how she reconciles the whole pedophilia and the Catholic priest thing. And she fucking got mad at me. Like, usually she's just condescending and talks down to me. I've never seen her like mad, like fuck you, mad. Like, and I was like, oh, I incurred the wrath of her because she didn't have an answer for it. Um, and that's how I know. It's like, okay, first of all, mom, what are you getting mad about? It's an objective question. I, when you get um, okay, it's like that guy that wants to fight you because you don't like his sports team. Like, okay, I don't play for the Bears. Like, what are you getting upset about? But people get emotional. They get emotional, like they need you to approve of the thing that they identify themselves. Um, I've never really was like that. It's not to say like I don't get butthurt if someone disagrees with me or like if someone says powerlifting stupid. I'm like, that's kind of mean. But I'm not like fuck you. You want to fight? Like, hey, you don't like squatting. I was like, I'll get over it. Well, I'm gonna bring him up. Like when Max said that nobody cares about squatting stupid. And I was like, so who made you the gatekeeper of lifting? But like the idea like that because he doesn't like something I'm into, like I'm gonna get upset about that. Like people are like that though. They'd be like that. They get all fucking angsty. I'll watch that video when I get offline. I promise I will. I meant to. I just forgot about it. Matter of fact, let me write it down. Get a little post-it note right here. There you go. That way I won't forget. I'm so old school. Everything's electronic and digital, and like I'm trying to eliminate paperwork from my life, and I'm still using post-it notes to remind myself. But I could just set on. What version of the Bible do you read? I've got 3 different versions. I got the King James, the NIV, and what is that third version? Hold on, I might have it over here. It's like a student teacher edition. It's got the columns. Let me see here. Oh, actually, if you give me a minute here, I'll go inside and grab it. Oh, Della's asleep in the front room. I don't want to wake her up. But it's got, so if you read the Bible, it's got these 2 columns, and it compares the translations from the NIV and the King James, and the 2, so you can kind of see where the words have been changed in each one, and what's been left out. Like this one's got the Book of Enoch in it. It's got apocryphal texts that were omitted, decanonized by the Catholic Church. It's got some of that stuff. It's actually really cool. I paid a lot of money for it. Spoiler: he made some follow-up videos to own all of us who called him out. Oh, well, now I have to watch it. I remember telling my mom that I don't believe in God or religion. She beat me, starts hitting me, telling me, "You will believe. I'm going to learn you about love, boy." Oh, damn. How Christian of you, right? Like, yeah, with my kids, I will not tell them what to believe. I will just try to point them in a direction. I want them to investigate. I don't want them to have contempt prior to investigation. But I'm not going to tell them. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I don't even know. Like, I'm still studying for myself. Like, I don't, Um, like, I came to the conclusion the other day that painting Warhammer figurines might be demonic and idol worship. And I'm like, well, that's gonna suck if that's a sin. I like this stuff. Like, um, I don't know, but I mean, it is kind of demonic. Might be an odd question, but I sometimes have trouble believing in certain things within the Bible. Do you ever feel the same? And if so, I think I just answered that. So, yeah, so it's funny we were talking about that. We were just talking about the apocryphal texts, Jesus having brothers. Yeah. So the Catholic Church did leave a lot out. And I gotta show you guys this Bible. It's like it has a lot of stuff that isn't canon, like the books that were left out. Um, and I'll say this, like my the way I started studying the Bible was like pure fiction. Like it was any other Harry Potter. It could have been a book off the shelf. And when I was studying it with that lens. Like this is just a book. I have no emotional involvement. I don't need it to be right. I'm just trying to learn about it. And it was over time. Um, Having grown up Catholic, I never there was never a time I didn't believe in God, but I'm certain that that asshole did the Old Testament God. It can't be the fucking asshole that I don't want to go to heaven if that's the fucking douchebag. I got problems with that version of God. But it was like I just noticed like the problems I was having in my life. I would have genuine questions, and I would find answers in the Bible, and they were just right. Truth is like 2 plus 2 is going to be 4, no matter what language it's in. Through time and history or whatever, binary is binary. So if something's true, it's going to be true regardless of who presents it. So I started like comparing and contrasting. The whole point of the reason I took theology was not necessarily to formulate beliefs. I was looking for commonalities in all the world's religions and through every epoch and time period to find out, like I said, why do we gravitate to these archetypes and these stories? What is it about these that we keep being drawn back to? And you see it with Norse mythology and Roman and Greek mythology. And so, what is truth, and how does it appear in different periods? And so that's like the lens that I was trying to study these things from. And I just found that there was, I don't know, it was like, it seemed like every problem I had, the Bible had an answer for. And I just kept, when I started noticing historical accuracies, like the form, like Israel being formed, as a nation, that's kind of hard to be like, whoa, shit, that's in the Bible, like that's there. Things like that, historical accuracies, and it's kind of like one of those things that started making you think, like, shit, there might be something to this. Um, and what I realized that I would suggest like anybody that's interested in learning about Christianity is to completely get rid of the Old Testament. Just get rid of it, and just read the first four chapters of the New Testament, and then kind of from there, like that's your jumping off point. Um, because it's the story of Jesus, essentially the abridged Reader's Digest version of his life, told by four different people. It's basically the same story, written four times, but from four different points of view. And by the time I got through the fourth one, I was like, man, there might be something to this. But I still have so many questions, and there's like, you know, here I am starting to develop faith, and this book is telling me that all the things I love, attention, fame, I'm trying to become like this power lifter that everybody knows, and I'm in a YouTube channel, and I like all these things that I've wanted my entire life, and now it's like telling me that's all bad, and I shouldn't want that. I need to give it up and not live in the world, and like, like so. I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm at with it, but I as time goes on, I find myself gravitating more and more to biblical truths, and it's kind of hard to like. I feel like I'm lying to myself if I say that I don't believe the Bible to be true, and that's terrifying. Um, because it, but here's the other thing: is like every generation has thought we were in end times, and even though like you would think like can things get any worse? Well, you guys know I have a STEM background, engineering, math, heavy in chemistry, but I was going to school to be a chemical engineer, and see, I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but there's some scientific evidence to suggest that. Well, we'd have to. So we're gonna talk about like quantum physics, the Mandela effect, the multi-dimensional universe, and how there's evidence to suggest that timelines are collapsing, and when they do collapse, that's going to be like the end of the world, which might line up with the Book of Revelations, like. But now we're talking that's tinfoil hat shit right there, like which I find fascinating, by the way. I love that stuff. But I mean, is that true or not? I don't know. That's a whole different discussion. uh, yeah, and then, I don't know. It's just Warhammer 5th edition for the Bible. Yeah. uh, Juan Carlos, Juan Gonzalez. It's liberating if the Bible is true. I don't know, man. Um, this is what I tell people. Like they say they don't believe. I would ask them. Well, not believing in the Bible doesn't mean you don't believe in like a higher power, because the idea that like life means nothing, proceeds from nothing, goes nowhere. It just doesn't like seem like that's accurate from a purely logical, physical point of view, like scientifically. I mean, we see evidence, scientific evidence that that's not true. But then it's a question of what is that? What does that mean? Like, what happens to us after we die? Like from just the standpoint that matter and energy created, destroyed, reused. Like we do persist in some way, even if that's. But is that consciousness? Like, do you as an individual still exist after you pass away? I think is the question. Like, what we're trying to answer. Like, what happens? The only way to the Father. It seemed like I don't know. It always bothers me when people start ministering on my chat, because I think it turns away. It's it's distasteful to people that are on the fence. You know, because then it always comes off as like sanctimonious. Like, is there life after death? Yeah, I believe so, but what is that exactly? Because some people believe that we just, you know, we're a big collective and we go back to that, and I don't think that's true. But technically, in a way, it is. If you like look at just like the quantum entanglement and like the fact that we are all connected. Um, I think, well, if you want to quote scripture, um, the kingdom of heaven is all around you right now. We're in it. It's our ability to perceive, and then the science part of me goes, well, that means that's a higher dimension. I'm not trying to persuade everyone. No, not. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. But no, Austin, I do get like a lot of people will do. Like, I get comments that are like, um, people tell me Jesus loves you, and I'm like, well, first of all, who the fuck are you? Like, thanks. Like, I don't know why it bothers me. It's like because we're talking about like me possibly being Christian, and I would say, yeah, I am. But then somebody says that, and it makes me mad for some reason. Not mad, but it just bothers me. I think it's like most of them are bots, anyways. But Kingdom of Heaven was a good film, yeah. All right, let me hit this here. I'm gonna do 2 reps of 315 and then load up. So it's supposed to be 325 or 335. Yeah. So. Yeah. No, so yeah, I'm a dumbass. Congratulations, you got early. 36,000 for cancer meds. I guess I know. I guess would be an answer for me. I know. I guess. Uh, would you ever consider visiting Jerusalem? Been there. Always wanted to go, but I've heard that it's not the safest place to visit. Well, I don't know, man. I was with the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit at the time, so I felt pretty safe. I got to go see Petra in Jordan. I got to go, man, I was all over the Middle East. I got to see some pretty cool stuff. Went to the Sinai Peninsula. I didn't get to visit the pyramids in Egypt. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have friends that live here in Vegas that are uh, Israeli, and they're back in Israel right now. As a matter of fact, a lot of the construction people, when jobs were slow, they got hired. A lot of them went over to to Israel for about 6 months, and they all just got back from there. Trump's finally talking about Gaza again. Dude, I don't know. Gaza is like, people ask me about Gaza, and I'm like, fuck if I know, dude. Um, I don't really have an opinion on that, on Gaza. It's like, it's been a mess before I was born. It'll be a mess after I'm gone, and nobody's ever had an answer. And I just, well, I'll say that um, what's happening to the Palestinians is not good. Um, but you know, like we got fucking people in our country that are supporting Hamas. Like, like those are the people I hate. If I could, I don't really hate anybody. I don't know if I'm capable of hate. I don't. Do I actually hate somebody? The closest thing I have to hatred in my heart is for my boss from that worked for SME. That man, I, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. But hate, like hate. Um, I hate Americans marching for Hamas. Hate, like run them up, like fucking wood chipper. Like you're a waste of my oxygen, and you offend me with your existence. It's just like you take the most free and prosperous society that's ever existed, and you have the audacity to be so profoundly ungrateful that you're going to support terrorists, which you don't. You're just doing it because some asshole told you to. You don't fucking support them. Trust me, you don't. But you're just like, you're going to be that antithetical to um, Donald Trump and Republicans just out of spite. To me, that's just like the most ignorant. If you've embodied ignorance to where, like, intrinsic. I don't know. It's like I don't have the words. I don't like those people. Also, Trump is sending mixed signals about dealing with Iran right now. Yeah, we go to war or what? Let's do this, man. They're ripe for it. I mean, they're fucking running out of water. They're gonna die soon, anyways, and they're not breeding themselves any smarter. So it's not like they're gonna figure it out. Hate is a hateful word. Yeah, I don't know if I hate. I don't think I hate anybody. If Iran buckles, Hamas has no leg to stand on. Yeah, I mean, Hamas is their proxy. That's the only way they can get shit done. It is crazy, and what is sad is people have lost jobs for simply saying "Free Palestine." But like, the people are also fucking idiots, though. Like, what does "Free Palestine" mean? When you ask somebody, like, what do you mean? Like, what ideology are you standing behind? And like, I don't stand behind or any of them. Like, Israel's our number one ally, and if I was serving my country, I'd be supporting them. But fuck Israel, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not doing us any favors. But they're also like, I have friends that are Israeli. Like I love my brothers. But as like far as taking a stand or a cause up, fuck Palestine. But no, I don't want anything bad to happen to Palestinians either. You know, like I could definitely say, fuck Hamas for sure. Like that's I think that's a default setting for most people, though. I would hope. Like if you stand for Hamas, you need to give me some really good goddamn reasons why. Because I don't know how that's possible. Work hard and be nice to people is what I try to do, right? Yeah, it's called being a good person. Like, are any of us good people? I don't know. Like, I mean, if you are honest in that you mean what you say and you try to do the things that you say you do, we're good people. I don't intentionally harm anybody. don't take their shit. It's pretty simple. And defend those that can't defend themselves. And if you're, if you're that asshole that's taking world star hip hop videos while someone's getting the shit kicked out of them, you're a fucking asshole. People get pissed about Israel, but who would you rather deal with, Muslim or Jewish? Well, I mean, Israel has a pretty good Muslim population. I think my point of contention with Israel would be Netanyahu, for lots of reasons. But I know Israel's our ally. Like, I would go to war with them any day of the week. But they do some pretty underhanded shit too. We have a complicated relationship with them, but I'm like, dude, they've helped us like immensely with the research and development, and our military wouldn't be as strong as it is without them, and they definitely wouldn't have a fucking leg to stand on if it wasn't for us. But that relationship has always been that way, and what people also forget, like after World War II, a lot of the population of Israel is expatriate or dual citizen United States Americans. Yeah, so I would definitely say Netanyahu is the problem. Like 99.9% of the issues is because of him. And I honestly thought Trump was being played by him. But he's one of those guys you just like, he'd be like the Donald Trump of the Middle East. I mean, that's really not accurate, but he's definitely a shady character. But yeah, no, I support Israel. They're our allies. And like, I don't know, like people talk about like their response after they got hit by Hamas. What the fuck did you expect them to do? It was supposed to be 4 years ago, not longer. What's taking so long? That's what I'm talking about. He hasn't stepped down. And I'm wondering what the conditions are for that. Like, if he does step down, I wonder if like he'll remain to be a free man. Because from what I understand, he's got some things to answer for. I try to keep my opinions to myself mostly about that. Yeah, but it comes up so often. Like I consider myself like from a like a hobbyist standpoint to be into geopolitics. But it just gets to a certain like you like what I realize is like 50% of the people that would bring it up were bots, and the other 50%, I just think they stand for a cause, but they have no idea what it is. They were just told to. Hey, we got a grunt in the house. What's up, Haywood? Yeah, he's got as many terms as Putin. Yeah, exactly. But they seem to be okay with it, though. So if that's the case, Paris Island, 89. I was there in 94. America first is what I say as an American. Amen to that. All right, let me hit this fucking set here. It's 12:03, and I do have to work. I told my wife I was not going to do any more training after 10 p.m., but I'm already 2 days behind schedule. So tomorrow I got to do deadlifts, or I'm supposed to. I guess I can put it off till Saturday. My squat numbers are coming along really nicely. I'm just not. I don't know. This competition, It just might turn out to be for fun. We'll see what happens during the next few weeks. Because I get a lot of muscle memory strength that's coming back to me really quickly. But I am not going to kill myself to prepare for this thing. That being said, though, I do still want to do a good job. Like, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't have at least a 600-pound squat, 375 bench. The last one I wasn't sure about. Yeah, I don't like training this late, but and you're right, I'm not gonna sit. I gotta be up at 4 in the morning. Like, do I even go to bed? But now I'll fall asleep. Russians are arguably okay with Putin being president for life. I don't know if they are okay with it, or they've just I don't think Russians know what they're okay with. There's a lot of Russians here in Vegas, and I love them. They're fucking cool people. It's hard to feel because Russians, they won't even that, even though they're not. None of them want to go back, but it's rare to get a negative opinion from them, even if they feel that way. Unless you start feeding them vodka. Gotta get that Fenbill Torsen. Yeah. I can't keep using it though. Are you veteran? Yes. Russians hate authority, but they admire authoritarian. Yes. Yeah, they do, but Russia's a weird one, man. My Russian neighbors are fucking awesome. They're just cool people. They all wear Adidas tracksuits. Like you think stereotypes, right? But it's like they are. Got 19 Delta Scout. Thank you for your service. I was a field artillery, 0844. So that would be 11 Bravo. Russia has always been between choosing drunk idiots like Yeltsin or sociopaths like Putin. Yeah, the Soviet Union had, Gorbachev. But that's not Russia. Russia had Yeltsin. Let me see here. Where's my little profile thing? Boris Yeltsin. Holy shit. Prophet Fear, you're an educated man. I dig it. there's not that many people in like the that you just talk to that are gonna bust Boris Yeltsin out in conversation. Oh man, I don't like using this thing because it's uneven. But I just wanted to do some press downs. Just crank out a set. I just need to go wide. Yeah, that's right. That's right, he did. Khrushchev. Yeah, well, Khrushchev that's a scary dude. I'm just like, because that was like, that was we grew up with that. Um, you know your history. Dig it. So artillery in the Army is 13. Yeah, I get the numbers mixed up. So yeah, 13 Bravo would be artillery. Let me see. 13B Army. Yep. So in the U.S. Army, 13 Bravo refers to cannon crew member. But so that would be an 0811 in the Marine Corps. So I was FDC, so I was 0844. Let's see. Allow a visiting the site. What is Army MOS for Fire Direction Controlman? For fire. Wow, my computer's locking up. That's 13 Juliet. They call it the Fire Control Specialist. He uses advanced computer systems to process battlefield data, calculate fire solutions, and direct artillery. That's what I did. I used a computer and numbers. We used the FATADS, the Advanced Field Artillery Tactical Data System. It's weird that Russia seemed to be having shortages of everything in 2021. No, it was weird only because they were really good at lying about pretty much everything. So, like, this thing is like, I mean, Russia. I can kind of see like the whole thing. The reason why Putin really needs Ukraine, besides wanting to have a buffer for NATO, is that demographically speaking, they kind of need it because they don't have like replacement value for the fucking demographics that are going into retirement, and now they're murdering them all like on the battlefield. So I don't think Russia exists in 30 years. I don't, and maybe not even that long. It'll be, but you know what, dude? Those motherfuckers have been. I tell you what, Russians are hard people. Alright, I'm going to do set to failure and then I'm going to go to bed. Oh, now I gotta watch that video. So it's on your community channel. I'll check that out after I get offline. Start of war, American AT guns are sending T-72 turrets. Yeah. And that's good. Russia has a turret that auto-loads and stores all their ammunition and without blowout panels in the crew compartment. So if anything penetrates the armor, it just shoots that fucker off like a bottle rocket. And they like, you know, Americans, we like to try to protect. We think that the crew of the tank is harder to replace than the tank itself. And they don't. The Russia is, the crew's expendable. Which it makes sense because the way their equipment's designed is so conscripts can operate it. Where like, you know, to be a tank crew in America, it's almost like a college degree level of training comparatively. That's not that far off either, really. I mean, they go to school for a long time. We have an M1A2 Bradley fighting vehicles taking out 180s. Yeah, absolutely. Our shit works. And you know, Ukraine, if anything, like it exposed Russia's, the quality of their equipment is the least of their concerns. If you can't get fucking gas to it, and the fact that they have like reactive armor that was filled with like, like nudie mags and you know, phone books and shit. Oh, you were a Bradley guy. You drove it and yeah, you know, you're right. Yeah, 100%. Like you always have that question mark. Like, you know, what could Russian equipment do? I mean, their fucking cannon's a badass cannon. 125 millimeter with that smoothbore, yeah. And we always thought, you know, they were supposed like I never thought for a second any of Russia's equipment was on par with Americans, but I always thought that they could throw down with us. I remember a video of a T-90 taking a flush AT shot in Syria. crew ditched the tank, but the chassis was unharmed. So that one got disabled, and the crew just abandoned it, right? So the T90s were like supposed to have a decent level of armor on them. Scout on a Bradley. Yeah, you got the Bushmaster on that one. Let's see. The same ones we had on the boats. USS Comstock had 4 Bushmasters on it. Russia's a fucking joke. Like, Russia's not scary at all. What he's talking about was like, growing up, we all were always taught that Russia had formidable stuff, but no, their shit's like, it wouldn't, like, they're not even near here. We would turn them into a parking lot. The only thing Russia has is, who knows if even any of those work, nuclear weapons. You got to maintain those motherfuckers. You know, there's things like batteries need to be replaced. Gaskets fucking go bad after a while. You know, like there's billions of dollars goes into maintaining American, you know, ICBMs. That the constant what do you call it? A maintenance schedule, like they're like everything, like tons of stuff, and I don't think Russia's keeping up with that shit. I would be terrified if I was a Russian to even attempt to launch an ICBM. Like, just like, what's gonna happen when I turn the key? You know what I mean? Like. They use them on themselves so they know it's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, I'd just be like, man, I don't know. Launch the missile. You do it. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go over here. You see what happens when you hit that red button. Like, I mean, that's why they got to develop their hypersonic Kinzel missile, because they can at least strap that to a fucking aircraft, and they know that's gonna probably. I mean, you could probably fly the plane into it. Yeah, anything that they can launch off an Su-27 is probably gonna work. But if you they would have used them in Ukraine already. Yeah, you know. All right, guys, I do need to get to bed because I got to get up in 4 hours. So I hope I can fall asleep. Tomorrow's gonna be deadlift. I gotta get on. Oh no, I'll watch that video before I go to bed though. All right, guys, I love y'all. We'll see you on the battlefield. Yeah.